Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Candid Conversations with Shawana. I am your host, Shawana Kendrick, and I am so excited to have with us today Miss Dasha Lundy. Dasha is a Knoxville native. She is currently serving in the political realm. She is a public official, and she is also a physical therapist. Dasha, thank you so much for joining us for Candid Conversations with Shawana.
Thank you, Shawana, for having me. I'm so excited about today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to get right into it. Dasha, your journey into politics is certainly not one that is typical. You know, you have a lot of people who are groomed to fill political seats from, you know, at an early age, and then you have some who are just really passionate, and I feel like you are one of those people. Tell me a little bit about how you really came from physical therapy, from that world, into the political world.
Wow. So first and foremost, I've always been a person that loves serving my community. So I've been volunteering probably since middle school and high school. I used to tutor young kids down the street from where I grew up. So I always been involved. And even when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up, I said, I just want to help people. But I didn't know how that looked. And so I started volunteering at a hospital, and I seen someone who was close to my age that had a bad car accident. They was drinking and driving, and they said they was never going to walk again. And I came back the next summer and I seen them walking. I said, oh, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a physical therapist. So went on to physical therapy school, but I always stayed involved in community. So as far as going from community to public office, I never in a million years thought I would be in public office. That was something I never, I don't want to say, you never supposed to say never, right? But that just wasn't on my radar. But I knew that I always wanted to serve my community, and I was okay. I served on a lot of boards. And then people kept saying, you need to consider running for office. And I said, no, because I love my life. You know, when you run for office, you're giving up your life, you're giving up your privacy. And then I kind of just had that, you know, that come to Jesus moment. I'm like, well, maybe it's something I'm supposed to do to challenge myself. And I got out there, and it was scary. And here we are now, Knox County Commissioner for District 1. I won my first race, first go around.
Wow. Wow. So I will tell you, and let me just say congratulations on winning that seat. I am so excited for Knoxville. I'm not from Knoxville, but I do have some ties there, and it's always had a really soft spot in my heart. One of the things that you shared with me previously was the fact that when you decided, or really before you even decided to run for office, there was a period of time where you felt like God was really moving in your life and speaking to you. Tell us a little bit about that and what that looked like for you.
Well, prior to running, there was a period of time that I was going through a transition, and I ended up quitting my job as a physical therapist because I felt like God was saying, I'm trying to move you higher. I kept hearing the words elevate. And before I quit my job as a physical therapist, granted, I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I was making about 90 grand a year, cush job, right? And I kept hearing, like, quit your job. And I'm like, how do I supposed to tell my mother this? You know, how you tell people, you know, how you look successful in other people's eyes, and then you keep hearing this voice. And I think I tell you a story about one of my patients who had dementia, and I was seeing her. And this was the night before I kept hearing God's voice. And the next day when I was treating her, she was like, we was walking outside, and she stopped and she held my hand really tight, and she looked at me in the eye. She said, honey, God is going to use you in a mighty way. And I just lost it. I cried like a baby. I said, this is real. And then my next patient who didn't have dementia, she was just a lady I was seeing who had a hip replacement. And as soon as I greeted her, I walk in the house and she's like, stop, wait right there. I have something for you. And she went in her back room and came to the front and gave me the devotional, Jesus Calling. That's the name of it. And I was just like, I got to quit my job. So I did not work for 4 years just prepping. I used that time to get in my word and read and really do a lot of self-care because I'm always giving and giving and giving. And that was, a time in my life that I just kind of take care of me, learn how to garden, just kind of find who is Dasha and where is God taking Dasha. And I really still, to this point, I still don't know, even though I'm in office, I know there's more, and I'm just on this journey and just living it by faith and listening to that voice, and moving how he wants me to move. I definitely stick to my convictions with stuff.
Oh my gosh. I know several people, and I being one of them, who has been prompted by the Lord to do the same in many areas of my life. And you're absolutely right in that. It's like, wait, are you sure? Because
I mean, it comes to argument. I mean, like, God, and then you think you lost your mind. I'm like, of course, everybody's looking at you because because you have that relationship with God, but you have to understand that everybody don't have that type of relationship that you think you have. And so the whole world thinks you're crazy, but inside it's like, I know I'm not crazy. And then I had to look at a whole lifetime. This is just a small percentage of my life to see. If I was wrong, it's okay. Life goes on. We can always create ourselves again. And I just want to encourage people to step out because, first of all, God won't fail you at all. If you're doing it for God, you're going to make it through the next level.
My God, listen, don't. Whew. And we talked about this too. It's like, we're going to have this whole anointed conversation.
We have to, because I know God is calling people, and people are, they don't have that support. They don't have the friends that, that have that same relationship. And we need more people standing with God, especially during this time of COVID, a global pandemic, especially a time when you see that we are struggling to fight for Black life still in 2020.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I do want to fast forward just a bit to when you did decide to run for office and what that looked like. Just the whole process for you looked, or at least it sounded as though it looked very different for you. Tell me a little bit about that.
So anybody that's even, attempted politics or, know a little bit about it, it's always you have your older Black elders, the leaders of the community that try to tap you. And it's like, you're the hand chosen. We're picking you. So I did get tapped. But when the time came, everybody left. And I was like, I'm confused. So I kept getting the words that I'm radical or whatever, but I knew that I wanted to be a Black people's candidate because we don't have enough Black people representing Black people, if that makes sense. So when I started talking about our poverty rate being 42%, that makes people uncomfortable because we still have Black leaders who want to be aligned with other people when it comes to Black issues, but they want to probably talk about how we should fight with Black issues, but when it comes to the table with our white counterparts or other people, they want to hush. They don't want to make people uncomfortable. And I had to run with my conviction. So it's so many people of color, Black people, my people that know me, they like, you shouldn't talk about Black issues so much. They're not going to let you. And I'm like, no, I know what God told me, and I'm the one that have to go to sleep at night. If I was supposed to win the race, I'd get there. If I wasn't, I'm still okay with being Dasha. Wow. And that's something we have to learn how to stay in our convictions. We are not here to have titles. Yes, God give us titles, but it's bigger than that.
My goodness. Listen, I totally get it. And you're right. You tend to lose people. You go into the direction that God would have you to go. And I'm glad that you shared what you shared, in that it's okay.
It is okay.
At the end of the day, you got to be right?
You
Like,
gotta be obedient, and it's so much pressure. I mean, I lost tons of weight. I wasn't eating. That's the truth. It's just stressful because it's the battle of like, do you stay the same to fit in, or are you willing to stand out and stand in your convictions? And that's really hard because that's that whole thing. Am I going crazy? Am I losing it?
wow.
People that used to respect you, they're talking bad about you like you're a horrible person, but you're the same person that they recruited. So I said, my heart hasn't changed. I love my people and I love my community, but how did I become the enemy?
Interesting. And you won.
And I won. I won my first race, and I didn't have a campaign manager. And when I was crying, like, God, I need a campaign manager. Like, how do I'm working as a physical therapist. So, I'm still working and still doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, how do I supposed to do all this? And I don't have any help. And, you have people that say they want to help you, but, some people don't follow through or they don't really want to work. And God said, I'm going to be your campaign manager. I said, well, I don't know how that works, but okay, whatever. And he brought the people, because it's like, a lot of times when you run a campaign, you're like, you're always on the go. You're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. He like, I will bring the people to you. I will tell you where to go. This is not a place that I want you to wear yourself out. And he brought the people. He brought the money. He brought everything. And that's how I know. I said, I must be in alignment for what he has, because, if you believe in the word, and there's no toiling when you're doing God's work, he's going to bring it to you. You don't have to be on the hamster wheel trying to get it. So that was definitely a test of faith. And that's like, I still struggle. I say, is God real? Is God real? I still struggle with that, even though I know he's real, because each time he tried to, take me to the next level, it seems like it's not going to work because it doesn't make sense. But it definitely elevated my faith to the next level, because I seen how my campaign worked. And I can honestly say that God brought me to this place. It wasn't by my works. It was believing and being obedient.
Wow. Oh, wow. That is so awesome. And so true. So very true. You talked about talked a little bit about the work and what that looks like. You also serve, I believe, as a trustee for Knoxville College. Is that
Yeah,
And
correct.
for those who are unaware, Knoxville College is in Knoxville. It is an HBCU. And I want you to talk a little bit about the work you're trying to do for Knoxville College.
So Knoxville College is a whole another. I love KC. I did not go to KC, but I believe that we need our HBCUs more than ever with the climate that we're in. So KC was founded in 1875. It was a thriving Black institution. And around 97, they lost their accreditation. And then they had several presidents. And, there's the rumors that presidents taking money. And we have this huge loan, which is true, that we cannot pay right now. KC is currently a blighted campus, but we do offer virtual online classes. But really trying to figure out, what do we stand, I think it's on 50 acres of land, but it's a beautiful campus, although it's blighted. You have developers looking like it's right close to downtown, so it's a prime piece of property. And I'm really just trying to get KC back to its thriving place. When I talked about our 42% poverty rate among Blacks in Knox County, I believe KC plays a role in decreasing that percentage. And I want to see KC back, educating our Black youth, because we need that safe space. We need that space where we can be unapologetically Black. That's why you need your HBCUs. It's more than education. It's that culture. It empowers you. It helps you just get to the next level. And so that is something that, I'm really passionate about KC, and just kind of fighting for that, for it to gain its rightful place in Knox County and become a global institution. Because I think that's what, we need HBCUs everywhere. So.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you've noticed it or you've even thought about it. Sometimes we see things from the outside that those of us who are close to certain things don't see. But when I think about everything that you've accomplished and everything that you've gone through, it just shows how strategic God is. because everything is full circle. Everything we just talked about is full circle. You being in the position that you're in as a commissioner, being a trustee for Knoxville College, um, physical therapy, all of that ties into helping people.
Every bit of it. And even when I quit my job, God gave me like 2 phrases. He said, invest in people and invest in land. That's all he told me. That was only, I don't even know what you're talking about, God. Like, what am I supposed to do? And he's supposed to be about Knoxville College. That's the crazy part. It's like he gave me a vision how it looked. Granted, like I said, I did not go there. I don't even have any memories of being on campus when I was a young child. And then all of a sudden, I got appointed to the board of trustees. They didn't even know me.
Wow.
So I applied because one of our city councilwoman, said that, Dasha's really involved. She gave a word. She like, I think, it'd be beneficial to have her on the board. But it's just like, that's something I didn't campaign for per se. It was just like, okay. I'm looking through my journal. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're bringing this to me again. I'm end up on the board. And then I think about my duty as county commissioner. You're serving people, and you're making decisions on how to invest in land, and you making the decisions how to invest in the people. And I'm just like, I'm done. God is real. Right. I mean, you just have to have those moments in life. Sometimes we get so busy that we won't sit back and just like, man, we have to learn how to be grateful every day. Because when you sit and look back, like you just reminded me, it just comes full circle. And God's not finished. I'm just 40.
Yes. God is not finished. Yes. Yes. God is not finished.
He's not finished. And it's more out there. And that's why I'm challenging myself, and I want to challenge you and your viewers. Like, man, dream. I mean, unlimited. There's no limits to this thing. Oh. But my heart is open. I think our hearts need to be open to receive it.
I agree. I could not agree with you more. And I'll be honest with you, just from a personal standpoint, COVID has done that for me. It has allowed me, and in many ways forced me to open up even more than I had already been opened up to things, to new opportunities, to new ideas, to, not running from what he is showing me, which I do have a tendency to do that at times, but
yeah, because it don't make sense. You think you're crazy. I'm like, how this gonna happen? Where that money coming from, God? Like, for real? Where that coming from?
Okay, like, you want me to invest in land and you want me to invest in people, sir? First of all, just those two together made me tired thinking about
it. I'm like, do I supposed to like apply for the lottery? Do I need to go get my ticket? Like, I mean, how this gonna work?
But it's not for us to figure out immediately.
It is not. It's not. He just like, do you believe me? That's all he's at. Do you believe me? And if you say yes, he's like, okay, go here.
Okay.
Just go here. I mean, it started with me when I got back, to working again. He's like, go to this meeting, do this, do that. It's not extravagant. We looking for glitter and gold. It's just a simple step.
My goodness.
So
just take the step. He'll work out the rest.
Just take the step.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Dasha, so this is one question I ask all of my guests. What advice would you give? And you've already given some amazing advice, not just for me, but I'm sure for others. What advice would you give to those who are coming up behind you, especially young women and young women of color?
Man, the main thing is believe in who you are. And no matter what people say about you, you are valuable. You will succeed. And please do not let any man tell you that you are nothing. And just always just stick to convictions. And you may have to walk alone sometimes. There might be a season that you won't have any friends, but there's nothing wrong with you. God has a huge plan for your life. So just stay focused and just stick with it. And I promise you, God's going to see you through.
Wow. Dasha, thank you so much. I appreciate you so very much for all of the work that you have done and continue to do. I'm excited to watch you grow in your space, a space only God can give. And
Yes.
I really hope and pray that you do some amazing things, because I feel like it's probably going to happen. Um,
Thank you.
like you said, he's not finished. He's
It's
absolutely
not finished. And I can't stop dreaming. I have to challenge it even more now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you for this time. And if there's anything I can do to support you or um, help in any way, again, I'm here in Chattanooga, but I can be virtual. I can probably show up in person, mask, of course, and socially distant.
I know that's right. Post COVID, I'm waiting on that world to see how that looks.
Okay, I'm ready. I think we're all ready. But yeah.
Yes.
But thank you so much for, again, taking this time to just share your story and your journey. I don't take that lightly. And I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Well, thank you for having me. And anytime we can chat again, whatever you want to do, just
Yes,
let
ma'am.
me know. I'm here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for all of you watching, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Candid Conversations with Shawana. Who knows who's going to be next? I promise it'll be somebody impactful, because as Deja mentioned, I'm following God's lead on this thing. So it'll be great. Thank you guys for joining. We appreciate you. Have a great day.